Hi, this is me, Tony, and this is another presentation for you on my YouTube channel and also on my Odyssey channel. The title of my presentation today is Canaanite Brotherhood, a Royal Correspondence from 3,300 years ago. What prompted me to produce or prepare this presentation was how scholars treated the Canaanite kings in light of the Tel al-Amarna letters that those kings exchanged with the pharaohs of Egypt. See my previous presentation, particularly Sacred Prostitution Part 2. Those kings were referred to as kinglets, petty kings, chieftains, where in fact those were true kings of true millennial city-states. Canaan at that time, which extended from modern-day Turkey, where the Hittite Empire was located, to the Sinai Desert of Egypt, had to play diplomacy in order to survive in relative peace between the two giant empires of the second millennium BC. Canaan included a northern part corresponding today to northwestern Syria, bounded by the Orontes River to the north and to the east, and by the Mediterranean Sea to the west. The middle part was equivalent to current-day Lebanon. The southern part included modern-day Israel and the Palestinian territories, the historical Palestine, and also the inhabited western regions of Jordan. So the Ammonites, the Moabites, the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah were also Canaanites. Canaan was not limited to the promised land of the Israelites, who some scholars think that a good number of them were themselves also Canaanites. Ugarit, the northmost Canaanite city-state, was mainly the ally of the Hittites, while all the other kingdoms had to pledge allegiance to pharaonic Egypt. Ugarit was the capital of a kingdom of the same name of about 2,000 square kilometers, with the likely boundaries extending to the Orontes River to the north and to the east. To the north, there was the mountain Jabal al-Aqra in Arabic, called in Ugaritic Mount Sapunu, the famous Mount Safon and its Baal Safon, which was also worshipped in Carthage, together with Baal Hamon, the Baal of Mount Amanos, further to the north. From the north, between those two mountains, the Canaanites first moved into the Levant from Mesopotamia during or before the 3rd millennium BC. This is a image of a map of the land of Canaan. You can see here the city of Ugarit to the north, and then the city of Arwad, Sumur, Irkata, Byblos, Beirut, Sidon, and Tyre. And we can see Jerusalem, Amman, and Damascus. So all this area west of Damascus down to the Sinai was the land of Canaan. This is a map of modern-day Syria and Lebanon, and you can see here Mount Jabal al-Aqra, Mount Safunu, Mount Safon here, and here we can see the mountains of Amanos, or Mount of Hamon, or Baal Hamon, and here we have the Orontes River. And in this valley between those two mountains, the Canaanites first moved into the Levant area from Mesopotamia. And these mountains were very important because they carried their Baals with them, even to Carthage. Ugarit was governed by a king and knew a period of prosperity from the 1300s to the 1190 BC, when the Ugaritic language developed from Northwest Semitic. The Ugaritic language is a sister, if not an offshoot, of the Canaanite language. Ugarit developed a writing system similar to the cuneiform of Mesopotamia, but was also similar to the later alphabetical system of future Phoenicia, or the Proto-Canaanite script, The cuneiform symbols represented graphemes, consonants, and some vowels, like the alphabetical system, and were not logosyllabic, like the Mesopotamian writing system. Sadly, Ugarit of the Bronze Age was destroyed by the Sea People around 1190 BC and ceased to exist as a Canaanite kingdom. The city was never rebuilt. The city ruins, located now in modern-day Syria, were discovered by a peasant plowing the ground in 1928 with an ox team in an area known as Ras Shamra, RS. Syria at that time was under French mandate, and excavations under Charles Virolleau, the director of the Antiquity Service, soon started. This led to the discovery of many cuneiform tablets in the ruins of the city. These were deciphered later on, and this is how the word discovered this treasure trove of Canaanite literature, poetry, legal, political, and mythological texts. And this was similar to the biblical literature, and hence brought on lots of enthusiasm from biblical scholars. After the fall of Ugarit and the Sea People inhabited the region of Gaza and southern Canaan, the millennial Canaanite city-states order collapsed and the Iron Age commenced. After this upheaval in the Levant, Phoenicia and Israel emerged with their Canaanite sister languages of Phoenician and Biblical Hebrew just before the start of the first millennium BC. So here I'm going to give you an overview of the Ugaritic alphabet. As you know, it's cuneiform symbols, and this one is for the A sound, Aleph in Hebrew and Phoenician, and Aleph in Arabic. This symbol is for the B sound, Bet in Hebrew, Ba in Arabic. This is for the Gimel sound, Gimel, Jim in Arabic, but it is pronounced like the Egyptian pronounced the G and a G sound. This symbol is for the Ch sound, which does not exist in Hebrew and Phoenician. This symbol here is for the Dalet, Dal sound. This one is for the He sound, Ha in Arabic. This one is for the Waw, the Vav, the Waw sound. This symbol is for the Zain, Zain. This one is for the H sound, Het, Ha. This one is for the Tet, 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 Ta, Ta, Ta sound. This one is for the Yod, Ya. This one is for the Kaf. This one is for the Shin, Shin. This one is for the Lamed. This one is for the Mim, Mim. This one is for the sound, which does not exist in Hebrew and Phoenician. This symbol here is for the N sound, Nun. This one again is for the sound, which does not exist in Hebrew and Phoenician, but exists in modern day Arabic. This symbol is for the S sound, ṭmny, Sin. This one is for the Ain sound, Ain, Ain in Arabic and Phoenician. This one is for the P sound, Fa in Arabic. This one is for the Sade, Sade, Sad. This one is for the Qof sound, Qof. This one is for the Resh sound, Ra. This one is for the Tha, Tha sound, which does not exist in Hebrew and Phoenician. This one is for the Ghain, which exists in modern day Arabic but not in Phoenician and Hebrew. This one is for the T sound, or Tav or Ta. This one is a vowel for the E sound, and this one is a vowel for the U sound, U, E. And this is another mysterious cuneiform symbol for the S sound, and this is a symbol for word divider. This is a photo taken from Introduction to Ugaritic, and we can see here a photo of an abecedary, a Ugaritic abecedary. So this is how the students try to learn the language by writing the different cuneiform letters. And if you would like to know better, you can have a good look and check for yourselves the letters. This is a photo taken from Manual of Ugaritic of the text 26, the text of our interest for this presentation. So this is the clay tablet of the letter from King of Tyre to King of Ugarit. What interests us today is the text 26, the letter from King of Tyre to the King of Ugarit. And you can see here it's what's found in Ras Shamra and has the number 18.031. This is the inscription written in modified Latin letters, and it's similar to what we used for the Phoenician letters, but for the Ugaritic letters we use the small case letters, the minuscule letters, rather than the majuscule letters, as we say in French, and with few additions. Like this is the U sound, is a U with an apostrophe on top of it. This is the H sound with a smiley face underneath it, or smiley mouth underneath it, is for the х sound. This is the A sound, an A with an apostrophe on top of it. This is for the het, ha sound, similar to Phoenician. This S with this symbol is for the sheen sound. This is a symbol for the E sound, I with an apostrophe on top of it. This is the R sound, so the G with an accent on top of it. This is sheen sound. This is Ain, similar to Phoenician. This is the T sound, T with a dot underneath it. This is the T with a straight line underneath it, is for the Th sound. And again, this is for the A sound, an A with an apostrophe on top of it. And E sound is an I with a apostrophe on top of it. S with a dot underneath it is for the tzade sound. So let us read this to you. So this is in Ugaritic. malki ūgarit, achiya rugum, taḥmu malki šurri ᵓaḥîka, ishlam lêka ᵓilūma, taģģurūka, tašallimūka, hannaniya ᵓimmānî, šalima tmany, ᵓimmaka, mannama šalamu, rigma tathib, annayukana dati la ikta mṣrm. We continue with the inscription. Hanna data bitsuri, metatu biya, gishmi aduri, nashkahu, wa rabbu ṭmmt, laqaha kulla ذرعي, bidenahumu, wa anaku kulla ذرعيhumu. So we see here additional. So this the D with the straight line underneath it is for the zal sound. Zara, zal sound. We continue with the inscription. Kulla napshi wa aklahumu bide, rabbi ṭmmt lqḥt, wa tathabu anaku lehumu, wa anna yukathit biya akkai ariyatu, wa akhuya mahaka bilidbihu al-yashit. So this is the inscription, and to please my Arabic speakers, I've also written this inscription using Arabic letters. Li malki Ugarit, achiya rugum, تحمو مالki تصوري أخيك يشلم ليka ᵓilūma ṭagurūka taṣallimūka hannaniya ᵓimmānî šalima ٿammāniya ᵓimmaka mannama šalima rigma tathib أنو يا كان داتي لا إكتم مṣrma هندات بتصوري ما تاتو بيا كشمي آدوري نشكاحو ورب ṭmttي لاقح كل ذرعي بيدينهم وآناكو كل ذرعهم كل نفشي وأكلهم بيدي ربي ṭmttي لقحت وثثاب آناكو لهم وأنو يا كاثات بي عكاي عارياتو ᵓimmāka بلبيه الياشتو. Now I'm going to give you an English translation. To the king of Ugarit, my brother say, message of the king of Tyre, your brother. May it be well with you. May the gods guard you. May they keep you well. Here with me it is well. There with you, whatever is well, send word of that back to me. Your ships that you dispatched to Egypt have wrecked off Tyre, when they found themselves caught in a bad storm. The salvage master, however, was able to remove the entire cargo of grain in their possession. Then I took over the entire cargo of grain, as well as all the people and their food from the salvage master. And I returned all these things to them. Now your boats have been able to moor to anchor, stripped of their rigging. So my brother should not worry, literally should not put anything in his heart. A French translation would read, Au roi d'Ugarit, mon frère dit, message du roi de Tyre, ton frère, que tout se passe bien pour vous, que les dieux vous protègent, qu'ils vous gardent bien. Ici avec moi c'est bien, là avec vous, tout ce qui va bien, renvoyez-moi le mot de cela. Vos navires que vous avez envoyés en Égypte ont fait naufrage au large de Tyre, lorsqu'ils se sont retrouvés pris dans une violente tempête. Le capitaine de sauvetage, cependant, a pu enlever la totalité de la cargaison de céréales en leur possession. Ensuite, j'ai pris en charge l'ensemble de la cargaison de céréales, ainsi que toutes les personnes et leur nourriture du maître de récupération, et j'ai rendu toutes ces choses à eux. Maintenant, vos bateaux ont pu s'amarrer à Acre, dépouillés de leur gréement. Alors mon frère ne devrait pas s'inquiéter. Now ترجمة إلى العربية, an Arabic translation. إلى ملك أوغاريت أخي قل رسالة أخوك ملك سور. عسى أن يكون خير معك بل تحرسك الآلهة. عسى أن يحفظوك جيدا. هنا معي الكل سالم. هناك معك كل ما هو جيد. أرسل كلمة من ذلك إلي. سفنك التي أرسلتها إلى مصر حطمت قبالة سور عندما وجدت نفسها عالقة في عاصفة سيئة. ومع ذلك كان سيد الإنقاذ قادرا على إزالة حمولة الحبوب بالكامل التي بحوزتهم. ثم استلمت أنا كل الحمولة من الحبوب وكل الأنفس وطعامهم من سيد الإنقاذ، وأعدت كل هذه الأشياء لهم. والآن أصبحت قواربك قادرة على الرسوف في عكا وقد جردت من حمولتها. فلهذا على أخي أن لا يغتم قلبه. Comments on this inscription. The text is similar in form to the letter of Arishut to her sister Bisha. See my previous video on YouTube. It starts with a greeting formulary and includes an invocation of protection and blessings from the gods. Next, the subject of the letter is discussed. Finally, the letter ends on a positive tone, like for this letter, and so my brother should not worry, literally should not put anything in his heart. The king of Tyre used a Ugaritic formulary of greeting and also the Ugaritic language, not a Proto-Phoenician language or Proto-Canaanite language. Some scholars think that this letter was initially written in Akkadian, the diplomatic language of the 2nd millennium BC, and later on translated to Ugarit, but we're not very sure of that. Comments on the inscription, linguistic similarities and dissimilarities between Ugaritic and Phoenician. We see similar words in Phoenician inscriptions, like the word for king, milk, malik in Ugaritic, milk in Phoenician. We see the similar word like ach or in Phoenician, ach in Ugaritic, achi, my brother, yishlam, keep whole well, ᵓilūma or alonim, for gods, ḥnyk, for I, mṣrm, the name of Egypt, matatu, from mot, is death, shipwrecked, ḥnny, ship, fleet, ḥny in Hebrew means ship or fleet, and this is also attested in one Phoenician inscription, so it is similar to Phoenician and Hebrew. Adir, strong, powerful, aduri in adir in Phoenician, aduri in Ugaritic. Again, the word for rab, rib in Phoenician, rab in Ugaritic, leader, master. Laqah, tuk, similar also to biblical Hebrew, and it's also similar in Phoenician. ḍar'i, so just the z sound is turned to z sound, or the grain. Bidenohumu, in their hands, so it's similar to Phoenician and Hebrew. Napesh, soul, again similar to biblical Hebrew and Phoenician. Aklahumu, their food. Lahumu, to them. Akai, acre, ako, same word for the city. Ariyatu, naked. The waw for conjunction. Bilibihu, in his heart. Lib is heart. Libihu, his heart. Yashit, should not put. Tzur, the name of the city. Tyre. Mannama, from what you have. So these are similar words that we find in Phoenician inscriptions. We see also very few different vocabularies not attested in Phoenician inscription, like the word for rugum in Akkadian is rigmum. So that's the word for, in Ugaritic they use this word instead of the word daber. Rajama in Arabic means to stone someone. Tahmu instead of omer. Tahmu instead of omer is again used in Ugaritic. ṭaģurūka, verb nagar. In Hebrew it's natsar, notzer. Nasara in Arabic. So it is similar. There might be a word, similar word in Phoenician, but it's not present in Phoenician inscriptions. Hannaniya, here with me, again it's not attested in Phoenician inscription. Thathib, send back. lqḥt, dispatch. Hannadati, this one, or these ones. Gushmi or gishmi, storm. Geshem in Hebrew, storm. So it is similar to Hebrew, but not in Phoenician. It might exist also in Phoenician, but it's not attested in Phoenician inscriptions. Nishkah, verb shakah, to be found, to meet. There is a similar verb in Aramaic, so it's not attested in Phoenician inscription. Mahaka, anything, something. ᵓimmānî, with me, attested more in biblical Hebrew. In Phoenician they prefer to use the word ito, with me, like the word for ito, the ito Baal. Baal is with him. Ito Baal. So in Hebrew they prefer to use ᵓimmānî, in Phoenician is ite. And I used this word for my Ave Maria in Phoenician, Adon ittechi instead of Adon ᵓimmākhi. Final comments, humanitarian and kingship morality and gallantry. We see the king of Tyre behaving like a true gallant and moral king. Not like a pirate kinglet taking advantage of the Ugaritians' bad luck and stealing their ship contents, like some of our Western leaders these days, putting their hands on all that is Russian. The king of Tyre takes everything and everyone on board of the ships, and when everyone was secure and safe, he returns everything to the Ugaritian fleet leader. He not only does that, but he also writes to his brother, the king of Ugarit, to let him know what happened. And at the end of the letter, he cheers up the king of Ugarit, telling him not to worry, as despite of all this bad luck event, everyone was safe, all the cargo was preserved, and the ships are going to be repaired in Acre. So even now, almost 3,300 years later, there is still something to learn from my ancestor, the pagan Canaanites, on how to behave humanely. Letter in modified Phoenician alphabet with Arabic accents. So this is the letter from the king of Tyre to the king of Ugarit. In order to be able to write it to you using the Phoenician alphabet, I had to create or modify some of the Phoenician letters to give the additional sounds that are present in the Ugaritic language. So focusing on the aleph letters, this is how we write the aleph in Phoenician. So an aleph letter with a straight line on top of it would give us the sound, the a sound. That's how it's written in modified Latin alphabet, and this is in Arabic, the aleph. The aleph sound, letter in Phoenician with a straight line on top of it and like a smiley face or mouse on top of it would be the u sound. U sound. This is how it's written in modified Latin alphabet, and this is how it's written in Arabic. For the e sound, I use the aleph and put a straight line underneath it for the e sound, and this is how the e sound is written in modified Latin alphabet. E in Arabic. For the х sound, which in the Ugaritic modified Latin alphabet is this the h with a smiley face underneath it. So I use the h letter, the het, with a straight line on top of it to produce the х sound. For the sound, which exists in Arabic, I use the zain, and I've added on top of it a straight line. So this would be the sound. For the th sound, I use the tav, and I've added a straight line on top of it. In the modified Latin alphabet, it's the t sound, minuscule t, or lowercase t, with straight line underneath it. For the gimel sound, the ghain sound, I use the gimel with a parallel line to it. For the r sound, r, like the gamma in Greek. For the sound, zal, in Arabic, I use the dalet with a straight line underneath it. It's like the delta sound in Greek. And then I use the different Arabic accents. So this is the kasra for the e sound. This is fatha for the a sound, and this is the sukun for no sound. And I used like here the shadde, which means to emphasize the put some emphasis on the letter. Before reading this to you, some scholars believe that the Ugaritic alphabet was written in two forms: a proto-Sinaitic, proto-Canaanite modified alphabet on papyrus letters, and then with the cuneiform on clay tablets. And as you know, clay tablets persist, whereas the papyrus disintegrates, especially in an area that's quite humid, and in a city that was completely destroyed and burned to the ground, like the Ugaritic capital city. So let me read to you this inscription in Phoenician, and these letters here are the numbers of the lines on the clay tablets. Maybe I did not mention that, but again, so this is the line 5, line 8, line 7, and you have up to 27 lines. So let's start. Li malki ugaritta achiya rugum تحمو malki šurri ᵓaḥîka ṭšlmk lêka ᵓilūma taģģurūka tašallimūka hannaniya ᵓimmānî šalima ᵓaḥmāniya ᵓimmaka mannama šalamu rugum ᵓaḥ anna yukana dati laqḥt mṣrm hanna dati bitsuri mitatu biya gishmi aduri nashkahu wa rabbu tmtt laqaha kulla ذرعي bidenuhumu wa anaku kulla ذرعيهم kulla nabshi wa aklahumu bide rabbi tmtt laqḥt ثaثabu anaku lahumu wa ḥannuyaka ثaث biya'kai āriyatu wa أخويا mṣrm bilibbihu alyashit. Final greeting in Ugaritic. Before addressing this final greeting to you in Ugaritic, I would like to just talk about a few things. While preparing this presentation to you over the past few weeks, I finally caught up with this pestilence that started in China and affected the whole world over the past 2 years or so. I went to a funeral of a friend, and unfortunately I got infected despite all the usual measures that are imposed on people, and nonetheless the infection was very mild despite the fact that I'm an uninoculated person, and the infection was very mild, managed with some over-the-counter medications and some other remedies that I cannot discuss on this venue, and I recovered despite being a person of relatively advanced age, about 50, and being of high risk. Anyway, so if this infection is now just a very mild common cold-like, so why are we still imposing all these draconic measures on so many people, and why is this still happening? Why can't we go back to normal? This is just a question. Another thing, in Lebanon, in a few days, they will be commemorating the 2nd anniversary of the explosion in the port of Beirut, a horrible explosion that led to widespread destruction of mainly of the Christian eastern areas in Beirut. This is where I lived for almost about 15 years in the late century. So despite 2 years passing since that event, there is still no knowledge about who is the person or persons responsible for this act. And it is sad that not only this event has not been dealt with properly to bring justice to the victims, the whole country is in disarray and complete economic and political collapse. So this is sad. August, on personal level, is a month that brings to me very painful memories of my adolescent years. So these are sad times, And also in my adoptive country, New Zealand, this situation is very unpleasant. The Novus Ordo Secularum agents are trying to impose their dogmas and false values on us and pushing all those down our throat. One feels so disappointed, so disgusted, and one wishes not to live for another day. Yet, despite all these awful things, this inscription brought to me some hope, a hope from 3,300 years ago, when this king of Tyre said to his brother, the king of Ugarit, "So don't put anything in your heart, don't worry, things will be all right." So I'm hoping that things, despite all these bad events and bad times, things will improve, and humanity and goodness and morality will reign supreme, and all this falsehood and pain and suffering will soon end. So to cheer you up at the end of my video, I will say to you in Ugaritic, وَأَخُومِيَّ وَأَخَاتِيَّ مَا هَاكُمُ بِلِبِّكُمُ الْتَعْشِتُ. And so, my brothers and sisters, don't you worry, do not put anything in your hearts. Thank you for your patience, and may God bless and protect you all. I hope that you would like my video, and that you would subscribe to my channel. And it takes me a long time to prepare these videos, and I would like more people to watch them, please. Please comment, and if you don't like anything, just mention it, and see you next time, hopefully with another video for you in video presentation for you in September of this year, God willing. Thank you. And these are my references, and if you want to learn more about Ugaritic, you may also watch these YouTubes. Thank you, and see you next time.